Manifest Wellness Podcast. I am Mike Sinopoli, and earlier this year we began a series on modern dating and relationships, as it's been an outspoken frustration in private discussions and publicly on social media for several years. We did a female perspective on it, and we also did a male. And today we have finally joined everybody together, and we are going to look for a peaceful, friendly debate between men and women on some of the hottest topics that we discussed throughout those episodes, and some new things as well. And we have social media responses too. So with everybody involved, we aren't professionals, nor do we pretend to be. But we feel it's beneficial for us to come together, have some discussion on these modern relationships and the current state of dating. And speaking for my own self, not to rag on anything or anybody within here, but I can admit that I have been the problem in some of this too. So nobody's out here calling anybody out. But joining me today, and on the men's side of things, back again here, he is out on the East Coast in Connecticut. He's our resident Romeo, Ben Frashino. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. I'm grateful for you having me again today.
You like that Resident Romeo thing?
I did. I
You got the,
was not expecting it. Yeah.
yeah, that's who you are. And he's soft spoken, but he says a lot of good things. He's out there. He says what he means. You got to listen closely to this guy. He's got some very good pearls of wisdom hidden behind the tattoos and everything else going on there. He's an adorable human being. Mike D, what's up, buddy?
How you doing? Thanks for having me back.
Of course, Mike, you look great today. All right, and then we're going to be up against these lovely females here. And first off, she hosted the male episode. She had the guts, the internal fortitude to go ahead and take it all on, and she did a great job and kept us in line. Renee Capiello, how's it going?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me again.
Of course, you're always welcome. You know that. And you have backup. You have backup in two very, very fiery Italian women here to go ahead and keep us in check. Gina Menelacino, how's it going?
Good.
Good, good.
Thanks
Welcome
for
back.
having me
Of
back.
course. Thanks for doing this. We're gonna have some fun. And a new addition, and I'm grateful to have this person here because I am going to be serious for a moment and tell you how much I respect this individual. She's doing great things as an activist for domestic violence and overall just a great symbol of strength, somebody that I've admired for a long time, known for a long time. It's Dana Ropo. Dana, how are you?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for
Oh, of course, Dana.
having me, Mike.
Oh, anytime, literally. So the whole point of this, we had the women talk and we did the men. Now we're all here together. Now, what I was thinking about, guys, like when we did this thing, we did it for men and then women separately, and we kind of think that like there's a lot of like stigma out there on certain things men might do in relationships, certain things women might do, and some of that is true. And Dana, I'm going to start with you here on just getting right into it because are we really in this dating world? And assuming heterosexuality, I know, there's all of that, but is it really men versus women? Or do you think, are relationships more like, is it empath versus narcissists at this point? Or is it just too many conflicting personalities to where we can't generalize it so heavily on just men and women? What do you think, Dana?
Well, I think it's not men versus women. I think life is not about a competition. I think true relationship is a partnership. So there's nothing in this world, every single one of us are human. We all have our own traumas and anything that we've gone through in life. And I think it's important to talk about those and communicate. But a lot of times, the whole empath versus narcissist, I hate that there's a word to describe this type of personality, but there has to be a word, really. Same thing as domestic violence. Domestic violence doesn't just happen. It's just, I just really don't like the words, but we have to have words to put to a subject. And with the whole empath and narcissist thing, I think that there needs to be something because it is textbook behavior. It's proven behaviors that fall under each. But when it comes to a man and a woman, there could be narcissistic women and narcissistic men. So it's really not a competition. A relationship is a partnership, and it's two people working together to be one. And it's just being your true self in a relationship. And a lot of times that doesn't happen. There is one person that maybe is not true to themselves or both. And that's where conflict happens. So
Yeah,
that's belief.
very well said. Gina, Do you think it's a men versus women thing primarily? Do you think that that's where the main like friction comes in, or do you think that's just a little too high level? Do you think that there's just such a deeper root to this stuff? What do you say?
I mean, I don't think it's men versus women. I mean, some people I hear, sometimes people or women, some women will constantly just talk negatively about men. But I don't think it's men versus women. I mean, I think that men are a little bit more logical, a woman is a little bit more emotional. We process feelings and thoughts differently, we express them differently. So yeah, I think,
It's
it should
it's
be a
very
team.
very well said, and I do think that to elaborate on what you said is that like I think what a lot of people try to do, especially men, I think we sort of try to force emotional change with logic, and I don't think logic and emotions kind of see each other. I
No.
think there's too much of that. I think that's where we're at. I think that's what we have to figure out a little bit. Renee, have you thought of that at all? I know that it's kind of customary for men to rip women because they've been screwed by women and vice versa the other way. What do you think? Do you think
Yeah,
there's some truth?
I don't really think that it's necessarily men versus women. I think it's probably emotionally healthy people versus emotionally unhealthy people, let's say.
Yeah.
I know really amazing men, but I also know toxic women too. I know emotionally available people, avoidant people. There's manipulators, healers. I think everybody wants to put a label on people nowadays.
Hmm.
And I think honestly, we throw around the word narcissist way too casually. So, sometimes people aren't narcissists necessarily. Sometimes maybe they're immature or they're selfish, they're avoidant, they're not ready for a relationship, or maybe they're just not that into you. And I think sometimes on either side, men or women, sometimes people get offended by that as well. So I think every failed connection or every failed relationship doesn't necessarily need a diagnosis at the end of the day. Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Very well said. Mike D, what do you say? What do you think about that?
I think it's really easy to say it's men versus women or women versus men, but like at the end of the day, I agree with what all the ladies have said. It's more about finding the right person and sort of complement your crazy in the best way.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ben, how about you? What do you
I
say?
agree with everything that the lady said. Mike, you as well. I mean, I don't think it's men versus women, but I do think that there are very biologically different ways of thought for men and women. I like what Gina said. And instead of expecting our partner to be exactly like us, we need to meet halfway and realize where they're coming from, have that empathy, and then be what your partner needs, meet halfway.
Yeah, big truth. And you said something too. One of you said it, and I had it on the notes too, that I think we overuse these terms, and I think that's not a good thing to do. Like the word narcissist. Like if you're just pissed off at somebody because they, aren't into you or they just had a bad moment, like you can't just label them something like that. Like I believe that, and Dana, I believe that kind of dilutes the term for someone who is a true narcissist that's causing this abuse, right?
Yeah, because there's definitely extreme people who actually have a disorder, and it is something that is true in fact. But there's also people that have narcissistic traits, just the way that they grown up and the traits that they kind of carry on from childhood. And so it's yeah, I feel like it's again, it's a word thrown around, but it has to have some kind of label to it, and it's important to um know what they are, whether you're a male or female, because like I said, it could happen in both sexes, but like you have to be aware of these traits because that come up, and it is textbook. So like it could be playing the victim, just the lies, different exact things that they do to turn the story around on you. It's very textbook. So
Yeah,
you have
and
to
there
be
and
careful.
there's and you're 100% correct. And what you said about, that narcissism and the victim mentality is big because, a narcissist always gets the grandiose narcissist always gets the thought. Everybody thinks this narcissism is just this big showy person who's talking about themselves, full of themselves, but there's also the covert narcissist type people who are just manipulators. They act like the victim. They try to play you that way. So I think there's a lot of this going on. I think that there's also a lot of mislabeling going on. So I do believe, and I wanted to kick it off with that because this being the kind of the men versus women type of podcast, whatever the fuck we want to call it. But I just wanted to make sure that we knew that whoever's listening knows that we don't believe that it is a true man versus woman thing. But I know we have our differences, and just based on who we are in our biology. So with that said, back to something that we kind of discussed before. And where are we at, guys? Online dating, like dating apps, social media etiquette. Uh, Outside smearing people on things like, are we dating the same guy, text time responses. We've got all kinds of things to talk about. Just let's start easily with the dating app thing. There's been some people saying they're ditching this thing. It's not worth it any longer. Ben, let's start with you here, man. Like, what are you thinking? What is dating apps doing to people these days?
I mean,
Are they good? Are they bad? What do we think? Where are we?
I'm not. I'd rather be traditional, meet somebody organically out in public, um, if I could. But unfortunately, the way of the world and as busy as our lives are, trying to make ends meet. Sometimes I'm working 7 days a week. I've downloaded the apps. I've tried. Um, Not really the best of luck on the apps. I've maybe had a few conversations and then it goes away. It's also people pretty far distance from me, so there's the whole commute of it and everything like that. And I also think it's just too easy to start, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 conversations in a week, and you kind of lose that. I don't know what's special about communicating with somebody, getting to know them. It's not special anymore when you're trying to have that conversation with 10 different people and vet them and figure out who they are and learn a little bit about each of them. It's like, oh, I want to focus my time on this person, but then I get start getting messages from somebody else. I'm still on the app, but I'm not with somebody. So I'd rather not. I've downloaded it. I've tried. I'm not totally against it. I've heard some wonderful stories. I've heard some horror stories. Um, the Are we dating the same guy thing? I'm sure everybody could attest to that. I'm actually a big fan of it for women if it was used appropriately. I
But it's
mean,
not. But it's not.
I don't think it is. I think if you've never even hung out with a guy and you're trying to figure out something about him, I don't think that's your place to post the guy and try to, like, you're not dating him. So it's not, are we dating the same guy? You're not even dating him. And then if you say, oh yeah, he's messaging me too. Yeah, he's messaging someone. Like he's just being a guy. Is he single? Is he asking you out? Or, it doesn't make him a player, you know?
Right.
But I mean, there's also, I've noticed that, like, I've been posted on it before. I got someone said that I was married and had kids. I don't have either. Never been married. I don't have any children. So anyone could say anything they want, which is
Yeah.
really scary about it.
And
And
they'll all
totally,
believe it. And they'll all
totally,
believe it.
totally
And then
defame somebody. And you don't know if there's group conversations in a text message like, hey, I'm going to post this, and people are just writing on it to try to influence somebody else or make you undateable.
But what the problem is, Ben, what the problem is that what we were talking about before, you got these people who have been screwed over before, and maybe they're actually genuinely been screwed over, and they just want to pile on to another. They're just taking their traumas for what they dealt with, and they're going to pass it along through the internet now. And that's the thing. The problem with online dating to me is not only if you match with 10 people, you're giving each of them 10%, but you can't learn about somebody at 10% effort for all of them. You're going to fuck it all up. So that's just the way it's going to be. But at the same time, that they're reacting to other shit that they've been through and putting it out on you. Mike D, have you been on dating apps? Have you done this thing? What do you say?
Yeah, I don't really understand them. I'm incapable of taking a decent picture as well.
I disagree. I
I
disagree. I'm going to screenshot you right now, and that's going to be your beautiful
indeed.
profile photo.
I hated them. I like it's terrible. Like they're designed to keep you on the app. They want you to pay for the app.
Mm-hmm.
Having 10, 20 conversations going at the same time, like sure, like you got to figure out if you actually like somebody. But then actually getting off the app and meeting in person, that's a whole other thing.
It's a whole different story.
But like I've been seeing someone for a little while and like we met online and not the worst thing. So I guess I can't say they're terrible, but
yeah, it has its
not my
benefits like
favorite.
anything else. It's got its pros and its cons. You know what I'm saying? So, but I did read something earlier today that Bumble is getting rid of two of the main things on their dating app. With Bumble, apparently the women had to speak first. They're getting rid of that, and they're getting rid of the swiping. Actually, I've heard that they're using an AI matching system. They're going to interview you through AI, and they're going to interview a female, and then they're going to match you through your answers. I don't know if
That sounds
that
like a
might.
fucking disaster.
I think that might be better than just looking at a picture and not reading the bio and swiping. Renee, what about you? Do you do these things? What do you think of them? If you don't, what do you do? Why don't you? Why do you? What do you say? Let's get the
First of all,
females perspective.
I'm in a relationship, so I would not do that anyways. But
Sure.
even if I wasn't, I just wouldn't do a dating site. However, I do have a lot of girlfriends that do or have, I don't want to say do, they have used them. And they always kind of go on and off because it seems like they're not really finding quality connections on the websites anyways. And then a lot of times the dating apps actually they find the same men on the Are We Dating the Same Guy, Facebook pages. And so some, and I'm not saying all men, but maybe it's women too, are using the dating apps a lot to kind of date multiple people potentially. And maybe like Ben said, maybe they're just conversations, right? No one's to know. But like you said, Mike, I do agree that we do have a lot of traumatized people in the world. So I think that's what probably leads a lot of women to go ahead and post on those sites. At least from my perspective, the friends that I know that have posted mills on there, I would never, but that's where it comes from. I think they're just honestly so scared that they're gonna get hurt again, and that they let their guard down, I think.
Yeah, and the hard part they're saying too is a big percentage of the women, especially on these apps, are actually trying to promote their OnlyFans and
Oh,
try to get people wrapped in. I've never ran into that myself when I was on
yeah,
those, but that's what I've
Oh,
heard.
that's extreme.
So yeah,
that's
Yeah,
fair.
I've run into them.
that's you have.
Yep.
So it's true. It's a thing.
Oh,
So
sure.
Gina,
Well, I
I
also
don't.
think.
Oh,
Sorry.
go ahead. No, Ben,
No, I was going to
chime in.
also say, are we talking about social media as well? Because I've actually had more luck, I'd say, on. I only have Instagram. It's all I have left. But I've had more luck on Instagram than I have on a dating app.
So let me ask the ladies a question. Let me interject because you just brought up something good, ladies. I want you to tell me this, and I want you to tell me the truth. We've been in the social media world for years, and sliding into DMs is how a lot of men will initiate a conversation. To me personally, it makes my skin crawl to try to do something like that. I feel low. I feel like I'm just another dude dropping in to say what's up with some cheesy ass bullshit line. I just can't seem to do it. It's just not something I could do. What is your actual? I want to hear from each of the three of you ladies, please. What do you guys think when somebody? I know it matters on what is said, probably, but Gina, we'll start with you. What
Oh,
a man slides into your DMs off of a story or just random? What's it like?
lad.
What do you think? What goes through your brain when that happens? Because I need to know.
What goes through my brain?
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Sometimes,
slide.
again, it's all about the context of the message, but some I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me right
Hey,
now.
give
I
an
mean,
give an example. Not a don't say the name of the person, but like what's
The one
something
the
that
other
Oh yeah,
day.
don't say the name.
I mean,
Oh, Jesus.
call them out. Fuck it. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah. Call them out on the Mother's Day one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Fuck that
not
guy.
one of them.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Not literally.
Oh
Oh,
God.
No, don't
Yeah,
fuck
I'm
him.
glad you picked me first. I have so many examples. But yeah, one
Go
of
for it.
them, I mean, yeah, do you want to become a mother today? I was like, no. I mean, just
Not even funny. It's disgusting.
Are
it's
these?
like
I-
again, like some shit that is said to me, honestly, I really could probably be famous to post. Like sometimes I actually have to read my phone a few times where I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, and then I'm almost second guessing, like, what kind of look am I giving off that makes someone think that, like,
You're
let me
not.
send this to this girl, like, sometimes, and again, all of them are different. So, I mean, but yeah, most of the time going through my head is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Now if it's a nice one, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, but if it's most of the time it's not, and I'm just like,
How many guys have you gone out with that slid into your DMs?
none.
Exactly. Can we just fucking stop?
So
Zero.
sliding into DMs. I don't know, Dana. Do you get that?
I don't
or
get I know I don't get a lot of slides, not like Gina.
I don't, Dana,
Yeah.
I would
Um,
be, I don't think they do because I'd be a little terrified of you. Not that I'm not terrified of the rest of you, but it's a
They
respectful thing.
don't
The way
fuck
you
somebody up.
carry yourself, yeah, I wouldn't fuck with you. But I don't know if you've gotten it or what you think about that sort of approach. You can give us your thoughts.
no, I mean I think there's nothing wrong if like a person wants to like be say something nice or like hey, but
Hmm.
like not these dirtbag kind of it's like what are you thinking? Yeah, like what do you think she's actually gonna say something to you? But like again, it's just yeah, it's pretty comical. I don't get the DMs that Gina gets, but I love to hear her stories. And but no, I feel like if a guy's gonna like just want to start a conversation, if they know of you, they're friends with you. I don't have people that are friends with me that don't know of me or don't know me. So if they're gonna slide in my if they're gonna say to me, they probably know me. So
Right.
I don't know. I don't get that. But
That's
I
good.
wouldn't be offended if someone said just like, "Hey, what's up? How are you?" and something nice, but not a stupid ass
So if they
comment.
just jumped in, started calling you queen and beauty goddess and shit like that and all that
You
weird
block
crap off
him.
the bat,
It's
you gotta
weird.
get rid of that
Yeah.
shit.
I
But
love
I
when
Mike, we
people
talked
call me
about
Queen
this the other
Mike.
day.
Bad.
I think it's something to talk about is holding people accountable and really not allowing poor behavior. So I
yeah.
think that sets a pattern that that makes men, especially men are creepy. I'm not gonna lie, as a man, I don't surround myself with those kinds of guys. I cut those kinds of dudes out of my life. But I think the fact that he addressed you that way should be addressed. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that and being an argumentative or anything like that, then just either respectfully tell him I won't be tolerated. You know, that kind of talk will not be tolerated, and I'm not going to be spoken to like that. And then just remove them, block them,
Right.
Yeah.
so that
Like
maybe
I've done
It,
that.
Ben, you
they'll
just gave me a
save the
great
next
idea.
girl or they'll think about it and reflect on it and whatever. It's also important for men to hold other men accountable. Like, don't talk to women like that, you know?
yeah.
And
Um,
instead of are we dating the same guy, we should just put dudes that slide into DMs on blast and make it public
dude,
and
I
teach them a
wouldn't
lesson.
say some of the things that are said to Gina that she's shared. I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't say that
say
shit in
if
private.
you had a gun or bet me,
Mm.
Ben, $200 to say this. I wouldn't say. I'd be like, are you out of your mind? I would think first of all, I think that my father would come out of anywhere and just clock me upside my head if he ever found out I said something like that. And then I have
Right.
my own moral compass. I wouldn't anyway. But it's sickening. And
Well,
women are brutal too, for the record.
well,
Okay,
they have
so
to be because like what Mike D once said, Mike D said that we pay for the mistakes of the women of the men before us. You know, if you're
true.
trying
It is true.
if you're trying to pursue a woman and she's been let down and she's been annoyed and irritated and you roll in with good intentions, you're going to end up just by default already being annoyed. You're going to
Well,
annoy
yeah,
her.
if that's what 90% of what Gina or the women here are receiving, and then you get a nice guy that says, "Hey, you're really beautiful. I'd love to get together sometime. Where are you from? I want to get to know you more, or ask for the number or whatever." It's like your guard is already up here, which you should have some form of guard up, especially a man on social media that you don't know. Sure, I understand that, but it's even more reluctant because of the way that you've been spoken to before, and I don't blame you for that. But I think that this pattern of the way that men speak to women obviously needs to change.
Well, some men probably just have the 1% theory where they said, I'm going to message 100 women today with some perverted shit, and at least one of them is going to catch. So they just have no self-respect, and that's what they do. Renee, we didn't hear from you. You ever getting
Well,
these kinds of things, or what's your
well,
thoughts?
I will say, I had a conversation with a friend a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, "Wait, like men just like message you or just send you messages?" And I was like, "Yeah." And literally, I have like that extra folder. I think I said this one other time on the podcast. I have an extra folder where any men go to the general folder, and then my friends and anyone that I really want to associate go to my primary folder. And you could just kind of scroll down where you could just see the unread messages, and it's a lot of beautifuls and fire emojis or whatever else. And you can kind of see if there's some polite people, or a lot of people are people from the past that are really trying to like get in with you or maybe start something with you. And if it's not somebody that you really were friends with, it's just very odd. Like, why are you showing up out of the blue after 20 years that I haven't talked to you, trying to start a general conversation with me when you have a wife at home? You know what I mean?
So,
It's just, they kind of just say over there. So, but I think it happens all the time. Once we're on the social media topic, I mean, I do have a few things to say about that, but I don't think we're completely there yet,
We could
but
roll right into it.
oh,
Go right
okay.
into it. Go ahead.
Well, I
Great.
mean, all right, what was I
Segue.
going to say now?
Oh,
Okay.
you're
I mean,
well,
social media, right? And dating relationships and how it's set up. I just think social media is just toxic, I think, a lot of times to relationships and connections at this point. It has people over analyzing everything, text response times, DM response times, who viewed your story, who liked what, are we dating the same guy, their last active status, those kind of things. Like we have access to so much information at this point, and I think we have access to a lot less clarity, even though we have more information. Um, and people don't really ask direct questions anymore. I'm a very direct person, so I have a lot of direct questions in my relationship. I'm very clear with what I have to say and when I have to say it. But I think a lot of times we're left with investigating, monitoring, and assuming what is happening by monitoring people's social networking behavior, I think. And
so
honestly, I think constant access has made us more anxious and not more connected.
I like what you said. And that kind of leads us right into what you're talking about, like social media wise. Like, what's the etiquette you get into a relationship? Let's just say you're single for 2 years and you've made some friends of the opposite sex, and you are that, and that's just what it is. Now, what do you do when you get into a relationship with somebody and you have these friends and you are platonically friends? What do you do from there? Like, they say your significant other is not comfortable with this. Ben, do you clean house? Do you fight for it? These are friends. What happens?
We
And
touched on this last time. I think that there's a respectful boundary that if it's truly a friend, they should also understand. We talked about this last time where my personal opinion is perhaps I won't hang out with that person alone anymore. You know what I mean? I just don't think that's appropriate to hang out with the opposite sex alone. But if my significant other wants to go out or we're going out as a group or whatever, I would love to have everyone get together. That's personally how I roll. It's not always about the trust of it. I know that my partner, if I'm with them, I have to trust them. I give somebody enough rope to hang themselves. So I mean, I'm not going through your phone. I'm not going to check every little thing. You gotta, you're out with the girls, do your thing. I just worry about safety more than anything. But still, if you're going out with a guy alone to dinner, I would kind of find that as odd as to why I wasn't invited or
that's
um,
that's one thing, going out to dinner and things, but I'm talking like just socializing maybe on a messenger here and there. Are you having that out there? Dana, do you think there's a lot of harm in that, or do you believe that's case by case? It's rough out there, you just got to put blind trust in people. What do you say?
I think social media, I mean, yeah, there's two different parts. I mean, when you think about, I use it more for connection and messaging. Like people, like Renee said, like a lot of people get so ingrained in like keeping traps on people. Like you pay attention to that stuff, and that's very unhealthy. And I think it's more you got to reflect on the person that you are. If you're getting jealous over I mean, you didn't update your relationship status. And like, I don't use my Facebook for relationships. I use my Facebook for a certain cause. Like, so it just depends on the relationship you're in. But like, you have to go into that relationship and trusting each other. And to get social media involved, you shouldn't be sitting on your phone while you're with your significant other or like doing things. But if it's I think it's just blown up to cause problems, and when it causes problems, I think that you need to go back to yourself and reflect on yourself. If you're questioning anything or you are questioning the other person, you really need to reflect on yourself.
And Gina, how about you? What do you say? You think
Oh,
that whole
well,
thing?
if I'm in a relationship, honestly, I want to be able to trust the person. So I mean, if you give me a reason to be pissed off, then I will be pissed off. If I see you liking half naked girls, that's going to piss me off. I think that's disrespectful if I'm in a relationship with someone. Um, and so like, or like if you're posting your like, your jacked bicep, yeah, I'm going to be like, don't post that. You know what I mean? But it all, I mean, I don't want to be with somebody that's going to make me a detective. I want
Yeah.
someone that's going to make me feel secure.
Yeah.
And I also want to feel secure. So yeah, I don't want to look, oh, well, you were active 20 minutes ago and I texted you, you know, 15 minutes. Like, it's just, I don't want to live in like that, like survival mode. You know, a woman, in order for a woman to be in her true feminine, you know, since we use those terms a lot too, feminine and masculine, but in order for a woman to feel that, you have to feel secure in yourself, and you have to, you don't act like that, you know. And not saying, I mean, everyone has, I actually have never been in a relationship where my significant other had a social media. When I've only been in one, but my ex never had social media. So that's another thing too. I have found myself, like, when I've talked to guys, I'd be like, oh, he posted this time, and you know what I mean? So, and I did that, and I was like, this is unhealthy. So yeah. I
Yeah,
don't.
no, it's like what we've never seen in our lifetimes as a species. To be honest with you, it's never been like this. Like, you literally have a list of people. Everybody has a list of people right in their phones.
Yeah.
We've never had that. Like, you had to literally get somebody's number before and go for it from there, and that's the only way you could do it. But now everyone's just so connected that you almost have to just throw your hands up in the air, Mike D, right, and just hope for trust. Correct?
Yeah.
Well, a couple of things. No matter what you do, the other person's going to do what they're going to do, right? So you either trust them or you don't. But there's like respect for the relationship too. So if people are sending inappropriate things, or, you know, hitting you up at 2 o'clock in the morning, like, I don't like it. So I said something about it, you know? And then it's just like, okay, like, how's this going to work? Like, talk to your guy friends and girlfriends during daylight hours. Like, you know, every relationship's different, but like, I get wildly uncomfortable if a dude's calling my girlfriend at 2 o'clock in the morning or DMing her. You know what I mean? Because,
Oh
like,
yeah.
As you should.
as a reformed, disgusting guy, I can say, what the fuck else are
Yeah.
we looking for at that time of day? You know what I mean?
Well, like, what about all the men that are following a bunch of just constant,
Big booty
like,
Judy.
yeah, and I mean, just
Nine.
ads,
You know,
you could just see the follow list just keep going up and up and
Yeah,
up.
and then you see
and
the
it's
like.
I don't
like,
do that.
you can
Yeah.
see it's the OnlyFans
I don't do
women
that.
or the fitness models with, you know, whatever. And it's like, not jealous, because listen, we have the whole packages too, but it's just slightly disrespectful. It just feels offensive, to be honest. Like, why are you even
I
looking
don't
at
disagree.
women doing that? Women
Yeah, but if he's single, it's one
But
thing.
then
If he's
again,
your
if it's
boyfriend,
Yeah.
it's different.
But then
Yes.
porn doesn't bother me either. Like, if my person that I'm with is watching porn, that doesn't bother me. I don't know why. It never has. I'm so disconnected to it. But why does it bother me when I see that he is, you know, would be liking other women's
because
photos
the reason
or
that bothers
following
you,
them?
the reason that bothers you is because watching porn, he's not connected to those people. That's a screen separately. But clicking a like on a person actually notifies that person and says, "Oh, this guy likes
It's
me."
about access.
So,
Like a
so
bid for connection,
it's a
maybe.
bait. Yeah,
Yes.
like he can't do anything about the people fornicating on the screen, but he could do something about DMing the person whose bikini picture he just liked. So
Sure.
that's the difference. That's why it
Yeah.
bothers you more, because
Yeah.
he's
think-
fishing in.
People think they have too many options now too, which is why
Oh,
they give
yeah.
up so easily. They give up
Yep.
so easily on these relationships that,
It's an
you
illusion.
know, our grandparents would have never. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's
Um,
true.
Like, relationships are, you have to connect with someone and be there. Like, there's no more, think about it back in the day. Like, we used to like hang out and like high school, you go to, you like spend time together, like you do different things together, and then forms relationships. Like, there's the connections are not, they're not long term enough to actually build into a relationship. Like, you have to be the next person that I'm with, like, you have to be connected with them at a friendship level before you actually give them your time and your commitment, not time. Like, I'll make the time for someone I'm attracted to, and I see potential, we share the same values, but you have to go on multiple dates, you have to go on different adventures or whatever to kind of get to know the person and be their friend before you commit to somebody. And that's where that connection's been lost, especially over 40, like even in our late 30s. I mean, it's just, that's where it needs to go back to. And the social media crap is just all crap. It's more so for messaging, for sharing knowledge.
There is something I've noticed though, is like generationally,
This,
like the younger you're dating, the more important social media is to their like everyday. And like it's
Mhm.
how They document all their memories. It's how they stay connected to friends. Well, like for us, it came later in our lives. So like we
Yeah.
still call each
We're,
other on the phone.
we're the last generation. We're the last generation that knows life
Phone call guy.
without social media, without the internet. And I think,
Yeah,
you know,
better.
it's something Dana said that was something that Dana said that was really cool was like, you know, now we're up, you know, up in our 40s and we're trying to manage this stuff. Some of us, you know, being single or whatever it is, or divorced or wherever we're at, and we're trying to maneuver it all. But like, I've said before, you know, the divorce rate shot up in the 70s, and I think that was a good thing because that meant that women were going to the workforce and they were getting themselves out of bad relationships, out of abusive situations. While it looks bad on paper, I think it's kind of a good thing that's there. And then we went in through the 90s and everything, and now it's kind of getting a little more convoluted with everything. The divorce rate may be going down due to the financial situation of the world, which is also bad because it's going to keep people in toxic relationships, abusive relationships for financial reasons. But we've never had to deal with this before. We're all doing it for the first time. Oh, it's what's been the last decade or so, really, where social media has been that big, where it's kind of like we're all there now. So it's just something to maneuver through, and that's why we're doing these things. Just talking about it because I don't think it's talked about enough. Because I don't think we know how to do it. Because as a species, we've never done it before. For as long as we've been around, whatever they say, this is the first year. It's a blip. It's a fraction of a fraction of percent of how we know how to manage this type of fucking these types of notifications. This overload of humanity. The fact that we could see all these people and talk to all these people from all these different states and countries. How the fuck are we supposed to do this? You could sit down, you could be laying in bed next to your significant other, having conversations with three other women from three different states, talking all kinds of bullshit, and they're none the wiser unless they find out. And it's fucking so easy to do. And it's a
Very
shame.
lustful
Social
behavior.
media created so many doors and windows that we never had before. Like, you know, relationships, you shouldn't even have those. And I think they do. Another thing I wanted to talk about while we're on the social media thing is I had a question a few months ago from a girl. Well, she actually said something to me like, "Oh, I sent you something on Snapchat. Nothing inappropriate. Just like I sent you a message or a picture or whatever. Did you get it?" And I said, "Oh, I haven't even had it in years. I'm a 32-year-old grown man. I don't think I need a Snapchat." And to me personally, kind of, I wanted your guys' opinions as well. But to me, it kind of turns me off. I'm talking to somebody and they have a Snapchat because to me, the only basis that somebody would have that is to have conversations that you don't want to stay or have some sort of inappropriateness, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of it at all. Disappearing messages, there's something shady about that in itself.
Red flag.
Red
Yeah,
flag
major
indeed.
red flag.
I agree with you. I agree with you. A red flag on that for me, that and even TikTok. I think if they're too into TikTok, I think it's also a problem.
Yeah.
I've seen people that have been just everything. Other thing is TikTok this, TikTok that. It's just late. How old are you?
Yeah.
You're fucking
Yeah.
fucking immature.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
TikTok.
So
She's too
Yeah.
young for you,
Mike,
bro.
Mike D, Snapchat. What do you say?
I've never downloaded it, never used it. Um, Lady friend has had it since she was like 12. And it is what it is. Like, I either trust her or I don't.
So Gina, how about you? You got a Snap?
Oh,
I
Dana's back.
did, but I deleted it. I deleted it like a year or two ago. I don't care for it. And if a guy has one, like it's like immediate, like
Oh,
get
if you have Snapchat as a man, you're fucking done. You're out.
Yeah,
Right?
Bye.
for sure.
Dana, you got to say that's true,
See
right?
you
I
later.
mean, yeah, I had it for my son. I used to snap it. I haven't used it in years, but yeah, I used to have it when my
Yeah.
son was little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Renee, you're not into the if you
Well, actually, I do have Snapchat. That's so
okay.
cool. No, I do have Snapchat. But I also have two teenage boys. And then my two nieces are also teenage age, and my best friend and I stalk everything that they do. So yeah, we keep the Snapchat. And
Yeah.
also, but we don't communicate with people on there. I don't know if she does, but I don't communicate with people on there. But the light
Yeah.
on the camera is very good. I have
That's
to
what I
say.
hear. And there's some filters on there that could be
Yeah.
fun. But at the same time, ladies, I do
Yeah.
want to just say, guys, ladies out there, anyone listening, please stop doing the little dog face and the
Oh
ears, you
God.
know,
Don't get
shit.
me
Please
started on
stop.
I
filters.
I
think that
don't
was
need
the
to
first
see
filter they ever
that.
did,
That's like
right?
the most basic thing. It's like dressing up for Halloween as a cat, and all you're gonna do is wear black and paint your nose with whiskers and wear a headband with some cat ears. It's so
Yeah,
lazy. No one wants to see that. Stop. It's
for
enough of
sure.
that shit. I swear. With these
Yeah, we got to
fucking
get back to
Well,
Slutty Pirate and Slutty Nurse. I
there you
there
mean,
is a
it's
go.
so
good
much better.
there
Let's
is
Oh,
like
Mike,
a
tell him.
good butch
let's
woman one that me and actually one of my girlfriends used to probably like 5 or 6 years ago. We used to go back with like New York Italian accents back and forth. And it was like, we had like beards,
That's
like
fun.
almost like very short beards. It was great. It was a great time.
That's the only benefit to Snapchat, in my opinion, is that you can have some creative filters and make people laugh a little bit with it.
Yeah,
But I think that's
Yeah, I
where it
agree.
ends. That's where that ends. Now to
for
get on
sure.
to one more, I have like one or two more like guys topics here that I want to get to, and then the rest are kind of more just fun. And then we got the social media responses. So this one, just let's talk about this really quick. Not healing from previous traumas or old relationships and then getting back out there, or using people to fill voids that you haven't filled for yourself. Dana, this is your up your wheelhouse here a little bit. So what do you say about that? Like not healing from your past and trying to get into something when, what do you say?
I mean, like I said, everybody has traumas that they have to heal from. And I think it's just you can heal together with somebody, but you both have to be in the relationship and be your true, authentic self. If you're not really being true, the person that you're not, and you're lying and being someone that you're not, it's out. It's eventually you're gonna get caught up in your lies. You're gonna get caught up in whatever persona you're trying to figure out. Everything that I've gone through in my past, I still know that I'm still faithful that there's good men out there. You have to keep your faith, work on yourself, and put the work in to heal your insecurities. If your mind and your thoughts are always running, you have something, you have to work on yourself. Like there's just,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
yeah,
And it's
you def-
ridiculously, and it is unfair because you feel that you've been maybe betrayed in the past, and trying to get back in there. Somebody presented themselves as who they were, or did something behind your back, and then you start to get into something else. Now you're suspicious of that person, and but they don't deserve that. It just goes back to that trickle effect. If somebody's got to cut off this trauma, Mike D, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dana's right though. If you're ready to get better and you're willing to look at yourself and admit your sort of role and everything that went sideways before, and the person you're with is in the same space, you can heal together, but you have to be honest and transparent.
I like that. You can heal
Um,
together, so it's possible to heal. Dana,
I also think a lot of people use dating as anesthesia, so they don't
mm,
have to feel whatever they're feeling
Mhm.
when they're alone.
valid point. Dana, do you think it's possible, like what Mike said, because him and I actually were talking about this? Um, can you heal together with somebody else that's may have been, maybe you're not fully both healed, but you come together and heal together from what you've been through? Is it possible to do that, or is that bad behavior, you think, or is that
No, I think it's possible to an extent. I mean, we're all healing through life. I mean, there's always no one's perfectly healed, but like, I think that if you share if you're your true authentic self and you're open and honest and communicate, you're you can if you know that you're communicating and you're being true to yourself. If that other person's not, that other person's something's going to happen where that other person's going to end up not being the one for you. But if that other person does communicate and you share and you guys stick together and work it out together, that means that's true love.
that's
That's
true.
true.
And find somebody that will tell you those things, that was not afraid to talk to you about what if they notice something in you and they give you feedback. Don't have the ego. Let the ego go away. Let them talk. If they're being respectful about it, I say, let them talk to you. Hey, you do this, maybe jog something that maybe shows you're not fully healed, and I want to talk about that. If they present themselves that way to you, that's a good person to try to like roll with, I think. Gina, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Dana said. Nobody's fully healed. We learn new things every day. But I think what it comes down to is yes, you want to be your true, authentic self. And, when you're a genuine person, you want to believe that the other person's genuine. So, sometimes too, and if someone's going to wear a mask where they're going to pretend to be genuine, eventually that mask is going to fall off. And I mean, it's all about speaking up. Like if you say, hey, in a previous relationship, or hey, when you did this, this triggers this in me. And if a person cares about you, they're not going to want to do things that trigger you. I know for me, like I would want to know, like, hey, like what are your triggers, just so I make sure, like, because I never want to hurt somebody that I care about and I love. So, I think that's something that people should learn about early on, so you can see if someone is going to respect that. So I think it's possible if you work together and you say, hey, this bothers me, don't do it, and someone cares, and they're like, okay, this triggers Gina. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to hurt her and piss her off. I think it's all about communicating, and it is all about being real. But see, the problem with being real is, and even this is something I struggle with, is, letting that guard down. Everyone's in fear. I mean, I don't know if it's everybody. I know a lot of people that I know, but a lot of people are fearful of getting hurt.
Yeah.
So it's all about someone making you feel that it's okay to let that guard down. And that's hard.
That's the emotional safety of it all. Right,
Yes.
Renee? Renee, wouldn't you say?
I think definitely emotional safety. I think, like I said, I think a lot of people are traumatized. We get triggered very easily. But I think as far as filling voids, I think a lot of people are just emotionally starving while at the same time being told I love you all the time. I think because love isn't necessarily just saying the words, like love is consistency, love is consideration, effort, communication, emotional safety, like we said. You can't always tell someone that you love them while at the same time treating them like they only exist when it's convenient, And I also think that people right now in relationships confuse intentions with actions. So
Yeah.
a lot of times it's like I meant to, I was thinking about XYZ, but did you do it? And I think eventually people get tired of listening to words and start paying attention to actions and patterns of, maybe whatever they're displaying. And maybe that comes from past relationships or not. But no one wants to feel like a backup plan, I think, while being told that they're loved. So
Absolutely.
that's what I would say, as far as like filling voids and where
Yeah.
we're all at emotionally, emotional safety. Some of us really aren't, and we're just emotionally starving and just
Yeah.
want connection all the time.
And that's good you said that, the intentions versus the actions. That was actually the title of the last podcast episode I did with my buddy Josiah Smith. We were talking about action over intention, and I don't think that comes to play. It comes to play in so many ways in life, but there's nowhere better than in a relationship with somebody. You could tell them all this shit in the world, and just is love bomb is what they call it, right? And tell them all these things, and then not follow through. And some don't even know they've done it, right? But I don't know, Ben. To tie this one up a little bit, you want to wrap it up for us on this topic
Yeah.
here on not healing old traumas and using people as filler?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, obviously you don't want if you just got out of a relationship and something's raw, I guess it depends what you're talking about, but we are all healing from something. Might be minimal to somebody, it might be something very traumatic to somebody else, and how we interpret that is completely different. Doesn't make anybody's feelings invalid. But I think that part of finding the right partner is helping you with your healing, being self-analytical, letting that partner in and letting that guard down to help you heal if it is the right person. Just like somebody would add to your happiness, somebody should also, they don't make me happy. I should be happy with myself. They would add and exacerbate my happiness. But same with healing. I think that they could help me heal from past traumas by recognizing things that I don't like, and I think we go back to knowing each other's love languages, and how to respond to them. And yeah, I think it's important. I think you could heal while in a relationship.
Okay, well, very
Have,
good.
have you guys experienced that thing
Yes.
though, where like when someone is consistent, it feels weird because you haven't experienced it?
That's
So-
true. You
I
always
also
watch.
think when you really love somebody, you want to do the things that make their life easier, to make them happy. You don't even have to be asked anymore. The same things, and just being honest here, the same things that people had to ask me to do in the past, I wanted to do for somebody
Yep.
else. Just wanted to do them to make their life easier. I went out of my way to, I don't know, say clean the dishes or whatever it is, and rush home and have dinner ready or whatever, and just be a partner, be a good
Mhm.
I
teammate.
willingly went to the beach the other day. I hate the beach, and
What
I
is it
had
about
an
the beach you don't like?
amazing
Is
time.
it the sand, the smell,
It's outside.
the
I have to deal with the
bodies?
public. There's sand. It smells. It's hot. It's disgusting. It's not my house. I don't like outside,
Not my house.
and
Not
it
my
was
house.
amazing.
I think that everywhere,
I
not
had a
just the beach.
blast. It
Just
was
say my
great.
fucking house. That's
Well, you
the
could
way
smoke
I
there,
am.
Mike.
You can smoke,
I
right? Can you?
yes,
That's
think
good.
at that
I don't
beach
know.
I
Mike, the
could.
nature is
Yeah.
part of healing.
See?
Yeah, I
Nature's part of healing, Mike. You got to get out there.
nighttime outside is okay. Daytime outside,
All right. So we're trying to get Gina back in. I think she might have fell off, but we're going to roll with it. And we have some technical difficulties, but like most relationships, podcasts are not perfect either. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, no matter what. And that's the thing about relationships too, that you have to roll through the imperfections and the dark seasons to try to make that shit work. Sometimes it does work. Sometimes it does not. Sometimes those are signs that you need to get out. There is no wrong way about it as long as everybody is where they need to be. Bottom line. So, what I want to do here, guys, with the rest of this, because I don't want this to go on for hours upon hours, we have 3 more topics and we have some social media responses. And with these next 3 topics and these social media responses, let's go and kind of go spitfire round table with it a little bit. No elaborating, no ifs or that, but just give your rawest opinion on this, okay? And I'll just kind of kick it off, and you guys tell me, tell me what it is. Give a little bit of insight if you'd like, but let's keep it rolling and let's just spitfire right now, okay? So here's the first one, guys. Is emotional cheating worse than physical cheating? And what's the line for emotional cheating? How about Renee?
Yes, it is.
It's worse. You say that it's worse.
Yeah, it's emotional connection.
So emotional cheating, so to have an ongoing, so you're saying having an ongoing text affair with somebody, with exchanging this emotional intensity is worse than your guy goes out for a one night stand, drunken stupor, and fucks up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answers here.
You said no elaborating, but I think at the end of the
Cam.
day, you see your person saying, I love you, you're the love of my life to some other woman versus just having a slip up one night, completely different feeling.
Dana?
There is no slip ups. Like, there. What
Well,
are we
you know what I
talking
mean?
about
Neither
here?
are good. Neither are good.
No,
Like,
let's
neither
preface
are
this.
good.
Let's
I'm
preface
saying
this.
what would hurt me more
They're
Yes,
both wrong.
is the emotional.
They're both wrong.
They're both wrong.
Yeah, nothing's worse than the other. If you're in a
Yeah.
relationship, you're in a relationship. Like, there shouldn't be any of that. So I don't. Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed. I agree. Just some say that some people believe that the physical aspect is the true
That's an
cheating, where
excuse.
they can get by the emotional stuff. But Mike D, you got a thought on this?
I do. I think one usually leads to the other, and the line is pretty easy. I mean, if you're doing something you wouldn't be comfortable showing your partner, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, Ben.
I think it's as simple as Mike's last line there. I can't even, honestly, I don't mean to overcomplicate this, so I'm not even going to elaborate. I can't even partake in this conversation because I don't tolerate either one, and I'm done. I'm checked out. I don't believe in second chances with certain things. Doesn't make them, I don't wish them anything bad in the rest of their life, but I will not tolerate that in any form.
I would say that I agree. If I had to pick, I'd say the emotional one is worse because I feel like it involves more intent and more thought process of all of that. If I went to my head, but both of them insinuate that your relationship is 100% cooked and you need to move on. That is my opinion.
I think it would be more hurtful, but either way, I'm not going back.
Well, there you go. No. Either way, I mean, it's all shit. It all sucks. And either way, it's gonna suck. So on to the next one. This one's a little more maybe you guys can elaborate a little bit on this one, but when you meet somebody, expectations. At what point you meet somebody and you starting to hit it off? It's going. When is the right time to talk about having children? What do you want for kids? Where do you want to move to? How they see the future? When is the right time? Is it off the bat? Is it weeks in? Ben, what do you think?
Immediately.
Mike?
Really? Why waste any time?
Right.
First 3 dates.
Dana?
Yeah, there's no wrong time. When it comes up into the relation and into the conversation, you have it immediately. I think it's an adult thing to do. You just talk about life and talk about your values.
Renee?
Same, right away.
Yeah, I'd
be
say
transparent.
the sooner the better. Wait, Gina might be back. We might have Gina back. I don't know yet, but you know what? We'll hold off. Okay, here's another one, and then we'll get to the social media responses. What do you guys think?
Back, yes.
Is she back? Gina,
I'm
Gina,
back.
Gina, we want to get your thoughts on 2 things real quick. We're going to backtrack. We're doing,
Sorry.
that's okay. It happens. We're doing Spitfire stuff here. So we're going kind of quick, but we want to know from you, First of all, what's worse is give your thoughts, but we're keeping it short. Cheating, emotional or physical cheating, which is worse?
Equal. I
Equals.
feel like emotional would hurt me more though. Oh
Emotional.
no, I lied. Equal.
They're
I
both
don't know.
pretty bad.
I'd
I think
fucking kill them both ways.
I think that's about right.
Don't let me read a
I
love letter.
I,
If I
I
read a
hear
love
you.
letter,
Silence.
forget it.
Uh,
Silence is power. No
And
killing.
then Gina,
Well,
go ahead. And then Gina, we want to also know too, expectations. Like when you meet somebody, if you say you hit it off, you went on a good date. When do you start talking about things like big ticket items in the future, moving in together, kids, their future thoughts? How soon do you wait to start talking about that?
well, considering that I never have the balls to bring it up, hopefully the next time I have a relationship or talking stage, hate that term. Hopefully I bring it up soon instead of waiting months because I'm scared. They're like, Gina, did you? I'm like, no, I was scared. I didn't say it. And they're like, my friends are like, Gina, did you say this? And I'm like, yeah, like I'll amp myself
Just
up
say,
before and be like, yeah, I'm going to say this. And then I don't say shit.
T-
So, I hopefully I think it should be within the first month. But I don't do that. So it's a learning experience.
I think
So yeah.
time's a premium. So, let's cut the bullshit. What are you going to do? You sit around for 2 months with somebody, you
Yeah.
want to, you want to be a mother and somebody else don't want to have kids or some shit. What are you doing for that time? You're just going to start involving yourself with somebody. All right. And then this is the last bullet point we got until we get to the social media responses, and we'll just continue the same structure here. Women asking men out. Like, does this still happen? And what do we think about this? And I want to start off with Renee. Um, do you believe in this day and age
Mhm.
that in any way possible should a woman ask a man out on a date?
I mean, I think that they can. I personally don't want to, but also I would not want to, but I'm a very aggressive, I guess, personality. So, I would probably maybe suggest or maybe be flirtatious enough to like, hello, it's open for suggestion, but I would like a man to ask or a man to show effort, I think. But I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman necessarily asking a man out. I just know I don't really want to do that. Like, I want you to come towards me and ask
Okay.
me.
Okay. Ben?
I don't have a problem with it. I like to. I think a man should probably approach a woman traditionally. But if a woman came up to me, say I was out with a group of guys or something, I'd be flattered. Still think it's respectful to do as long as it's not in an inappropriate way. That goes for vice versa, men or women. Yeah, I don't see any problem with it. I'd
Okay.
rather be the one to do it, but
Gina?
Um, well, touching on my last response, I am real shy. So the chances of me asking a man out is like a big zero. I don't even have, I can't even, yeah, no, I can't. Now, if I'm, yeah, no, I'm not even going to lie to you guys. There's absolutely no possible way I'm asking a guy out. Not a chance in hell.
That's okay. There's no wrong answers,
Nothing
Mike
wrong with
D,
that.
right? What do you think?
I get approached too often. Like I don't know why people think I'm an okay person to talk to in public, but it really needs to stop.
come on, Mike.
Um, in terms of if I was single, if a woman came up to me and asked me out, I'm sure I'd be very flattered. There's nothing wrong with it, but I think men should take the lead.
Dana?
A man needs to feel that connection to that woman and feel that he needs to be the confident one to go up to the woman to ask her because I mean, you guys say how you feel, but I think you really need to be attracted and interested in a woman in order to give your attention. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
you always tell me, let him lead, Gina. So
There is a
Or
nice middle
not
ground,
lead.
There
though.
are some guys though that I'm friends with that are handsome guys, great careers. I don't have a bad thing to say about them.
Thank you,
People are,
Ben. Thank you.
but they are, yes, like Mike, that are timid and may, I'm not personally like that. I walk up to anybody. I look at it like I win either way. I don't look at someone's out of my league or better than me or less than me. I look at everyone as equals, and
Mhm.
I not afraid to go up to anybody. And then I lay my head on the pillow at night, even if it didn't work out. Like, hey, I had the balls to go up to them. If it didn't work out, whatever. She made up that she had a boyfriend. Maybe she wasn't interested. Whatever. I did my part. I tried, and I win either way. That's the way I have to
I
look at
love
it.
that
But
she
there
made
are
up
there
that she
are
had a
men out there
boyfriend.
though that I know that I'm friends with, family with, that are afraid to approach women, and we'll sit there all night and just look or talk about them. And I'm like, are you going to say anything? And hopefully, men will be good wingmen to their friend or girl, vice versa. But yeah, it happens too. So sometimes women need to help them out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think a woman approaching a man and just like expressing like not disgust is enough to open the door for the man to ask them out.
Yeah, that's good.
I
I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't have a
completely,
problem with
That's a
that.
nice medium. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a woman could show eye contact or whatever. I start
No, no, no,
conversations
no, no,
everywhere
no.
I go. But I
Men
think
are
that
dumb. Eye
a
contact does
man,
not work.
I agree, Mike D.
eye contact, but actually like having a
Yes.
conversation, like talking, like I don't
Yes.
bite. I don't bite.
you're
I said,
frozen
if
up.
you see a beautiful woman that you're attracted to, like life's too short. Go and say
Yep.
hello, like you said. Like it's just if a man doesn't do that, he's not gonna get, I feel like I'd rather have a man to approach him. I do not get approached when I'm out, which is
Well,
it's
there's a very real thing that beautiful women have been interviewed, and you three are beautiful women, that they say they actually aren't approached as much because men are intimidated by them, or especially if they're independent and strong and have a good personality and a presence about them. I think that some men are intimidated by that. Like I said, I'm personally, I don't. I mean, I'm not going to talk to you like I'm in a guy's locker room, but I still talk to women just like I talk to men. We're all human beings. If you don't like me for who I am, then it is what it is. But I also think that where was I going with that? There's something I was thinking of when you were freezing.
It happens. It happens.
Was
It's
it
like
the
I'm thinking
biting
of
part?
It'll come back.
yeah, like we're all humans in this world. Like connection is conversation is connection. Like
Yeah.
nobody bites, just talk to people and when I'm
Oh, I know what it
out
was.
and about, you have fun and enjoy yourself and have conversations with people. Don't sit there and
I also think there's
not
a
talk to anybody.
line as a woman that I could respectfully understand that there's a fine line between, no offense, being a bitch and being overly friendly, because many men may mistake that as you're interested just for being merely friendly with them. You know,
Yeah.
I have
It's a
friends
good
that are
point.
bartenders that are females that are like, I hand somebody their drink and they think I want them, so there's also misunderstanding with that as well. So I get it from a woman's perspective as well.
Yeah. Well, if a man's not getting enough attention here and there, he will take any little shred and think that's going to be the world to him, and that's his
Yeah.
future bride.
Thinks is the
And
waitress at Hooters.
Where's the
right
drum?
there you go.
Yeah, thank you.
And for me, it's more traditional. I think the man should ask the woman out. But again, it could be a flattery. I wouldn't think less of a woman if she was to do that. I think it's a flattering experience, and I think it's hey, why the hell not if that was to happen. So. All right, that's that. Now I went to social media. We're going to go through these and then we will close it up. But guys, ladies, give us your thoughts here. Here's our first one from Mama Maria 15. Why it's so hard to just be honest with someone when you don't like them or you're not into them. So I think what she's saying is sort of like people have a hard time, and this is maybe where the ghosting thing comes in, where people have a hard time saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm not feeling this. This isn't a connection I believe in right now," or something like that. I guess she's asking, why is it so hard? Um, so I don't know. What do you say, Renee? What do you think?
Well, I mean, from the woman's perspective, why do I think for a man
Of
it's so
course.
hard, or from my perspective?
I guess
I
from
mean, because
yours,
I'm
because
I'm
because
very
it
blunt and honest,
it
so I don't.
happens it happens on both sides. Like I mean,
Yeah.
in a relationship, a man might not be interested any longer, and he
Mhm.
might ghost. Same thing with a woman. So from your own
Yeah.
personal perspective,
Yeah, I don't have any women friends, I think, or myself that would ever go someone. Just to be honest, and just being very blunt, transparent, parent, and saying what you got to say, I think is the best way to go. But I do think there's some men that do ghost, and I would love to know what the reason is. But I think a lot of times it's maybe lack of accountability. Maybe the mask falls off. Maybe, you know, I forgot what I was gonna say.
it happens. Well, I'll tell you.
Oh, no,
Go ahead.
but
Maybe
maybe
it's
just not wanting to
maybe.
be, not wanting to hurt someone's feelings, right?
Mhm.
Or maybe they want to keep the door open a little bit. If you're open and honest about that, then, you close the door, the woman's gonna move on. Or maybe you're just kind of placeholdering it. You
Yeah.
don't want to end it.
That's fair. What do you say, Mike D?
I encounter this in business more than personal relationships, but I've determined it's because people are afraid to hurt other people's feelings. And they've either had someone be too honest with them in a shitty way, or have never had someone give them the bad news straight, so they don't know how to do it.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. How about you, Dana?
I think it's emotional immaturity if someone's going to ghost somebody. And that's on them. I think if someone's going to ghost me, that's their problem. And vice versa, I would never do that. I would be real and honest with the person. So again, I always look back at the person. Like if I get betrayed or I get hurt, it's not on me. It's not me. I know who I am. It's on them, and that's their problem.
Yep.
Gina?
Yeah, ghosting, I don't like it. I can understand why people do it, because you don't want to hurt someone. I mean, I wouldn't technically, I've never ghosted anybody, but I have had men that were interested in me, and it's like, I don't know how to tell them, like, you have zero chance in hell with me, buddy. But like,
Maybe-
I
maybe
feel
just
Not
like
like
that.
that.
Maybe just like
say
that.
oh,
thanks,
say it
but
like
no
that,
thanks.
just
Yeah, just like
crush
that.
them.
I don't know
Yeah,
if I say it
you
like
know
that,
what?
but
Or then
Or
it's
just-
like, it's not nice, but like, I'll try to like ignore them, you know, like, and this isn't like if I was in a relationship with somebody and I didn't like them anymore, I would tell them. But like
Yeah.
someone that's trying to like DM me or like,
Well, that's a different
Yeah.
story. I think
yeah,
it's a different
where it's
story.
like, I feel
But
bad.
Gina,
Gina's
What?
heard
you
my
did this thing
conversation.
with a mutual friend of ours where he asked you to dinner and you said, I would destroy you,
Wait,
and you
who?
didn't go out with him. I will
well,
tell
maybe don't
you
say the
off
name.
the
Maybe
recording so we don't say his name. But yeah, you told me about this at the club night thing. And you were like, he's so sweet, I would just destroy him.
That's crazy.
Sounds like
Yeah,
Gina.
I think it's important to be honest. I mean, I've been dating, I've been single for a long time, like single, not married. And I think I've over time, over the years, the last probably few years, I've just been completely honest with the person and said, yeah, you should not do that to women or say this. And I just said it very nicely and classily, and yeah, and it's a great feeling. It really is, just telling a person, wow, you're
Yeah.
disgraceful and you need to get help, basically.
Yeah,
Go
Get
get
yourself
yourself
some
some
help.
help.
yeah.
Really,
No,
go get yourself some
I
help.
just feel too bad. I really do. I don't know
know.
why. You want to know why I feel bad? Because I hate rejection. So I never want someone to feel like that feeling, because I don't like it. But at the same time, too, not being honest is
Yeah.
not right either.
So, ladies, and men, everybody, let me tell you this. This is my thing about this. I will tell you straight up right now. I would rather be dumped, rejected, ghosted than do that any myself.
100%.
I don't care. I would rather be told I don't like you, go away. I'm like, okay, fine. I don't want to have to say that. And maybe that's a weakness on my part, but it probably is. But I would rather be the one dumped than do the dumping. That's actually, Ben, I don't know how you feel about all that.
Well, yeah, I think sometimes people that don't really know how to end things or be transparent will kind of almost force you to have you do it, right? Which is very immature. It's like you're giving me no choice because I don't want to tolerate this kind of behavior. So it's like you want me to break up with you. This is obviously not what I signed up for, and
Right.
distance. So I think that happens. I think there's a few different reasons that people ghost or hang around too long. One of which would be they're afraid to hurt someone's feelings, which nobody cares about people more than me. I'm a big lover. I do feel bad, but I'm also very honest. I'm not going to keep somebody around. I think the other reason that people do it is because they do want their cake and eat it too. And they're afraid to completely close that door, which is very selfish. They may not realize it. Maybe it's not intentional, but it's still disgraceful.
I think
Not
a lot of
okay.
people
Don't
stay
waste
with
anyone's time.
someone.
We all have one life as far as we know. I don't want to waste anyone's time. But I've also been on the opposite end of that, which I'm able to handle it if I've ever been rejected. But I've rejected people, and people could be nasty. People could take it the wrong way. I'm sure women deal with that even more with men, that you shut them down politely and they say something extremely vulgar or derogatory back to them. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But I still think, all in all, my answer would be being honest so that I could live with myself. I would always be honest.
Right.
Polite and respectful,
Right.
but honest. And you don't need to throw that dagger in there like, oh, it's, I don't know, something very personal, like they smell or something. Maybe you don't need to tell them directly what the reason is, right? Maybe what the direct reason is, but you could just say, hey, it isn't working out for me. It's no offense to you. And I'm just not interested,
Yeah.
Gina, I don't know if you have to tell them they have zero chance in hell, but
Gina,
maybe I'm
that's-
just,
that's
maybe
a
just
beautiful
saying,
one.
I'm not
Some people need to hear
interested
that,
would be
though.
okay.
That's just the sour patch behavior. I'm actually a big sweetheart. I feel like I'm like a
we
little
know.
troll. I gotta bark, but no bite. Like
And-
I will say it, but at the end of the day, I have a really big heart, and I'm probably, if anything, I'm too nice.
That's a good thing to be, though, And to clarify, though, I just said that would be my preference. But if I had to end something, I would do it because that's just the right thing to do. But I prefer that the other way. But Mike D, you were going to say something, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, two really quick things. I think some people will stay in a relationship they know they don't really want to give their all to just because it's better than being alone. Those are shitty people. And I forgot the other one. So next.
That's all right. All right. Somebody wants to know.
I think some people think of stability too, and
Yeah.
the family that they're with, and they fall in love with the family, which is harder to walk away from sometimes than the person itself. I think that has something to do with it as well.
A lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. Absolutely. So a couple more, and then we can spitfire this one quick. Who does more household chores these days? Or is there supposed to be split is this work nowadays? Is this two just basic?
Should be 50-50.
50-50 based on I think it matters on who's
It doesn't matter.
What if somebody's
Doesn't matter.
working? What if one's working and
cares?
one's not? What if one's
So
working
what?
and one's not?
Who cares? You're a team or you're not.
Are there male and female? Do those roles still exist? Like, are we still supposed to cut the grass? You guys do the dishes? How's this
No,
go?
I still believe
I
it.
ain't cutting the grass though. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, you pay someone to cut the grass.
I still
But,
believe in
like,
some gender roles.
I do
I'm not
everything in
saying-
my house, so
we all live alone
Good
though,
workout.
right? Like for the most part, like we've all lived alone at some point.
Yeah.
So we all know how to do laundry. We all know how to do the dishes. We all know how to do minor home repairs. Like, who gives a shit? Like, whoever's around, whoever has more gas left in the tank should do whatever's left at the end of the day. It's not
Listen.
rocket science.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. If I had a husband and I did not work, I'm just being honest, and I was a stay-at-home mom, I didn't work, and my husband was gone all day and didn't come home until late at night, and I'm just like a traditional wife, I would just do everything. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would just
That's
not
all right.
expect him to do anything. I would do everything. Cook, clean,
But if you were sick,
laundry. I'd be like, sit, don't move.
should
Here's your
he
dinner. Dinner's already cleaned up. I mean, if I'm sick, that's
should he let the
different.
dishes
And then
pile up
we have,
until you're feeling better? Or
I mean, it depends on how old the kids are. The kids can do the dishes at that point, or you have family, and also, like, of course he's gonna come home and help. I wouldn't say that he wouldn't ever help out, but like if I had a traditional household where I did not have to work, log into a computer, anything, I would bust my ass in that house every day.
that's not
Kids, cook,
traditional
clean.
anymore, though.
I know, but I would. Like, I'm just saying, that's exactly what that's not traditional anymore. I mean, I do work, obviously, and I would never stop working. So
I think
I mean,
it
I'll
comes
never feel that
down.
way, but
I think the chores
It's
thing nowadays, however it's structured, I think it's just between a couple on what works best, who does what best, what the timing is like, split it up the right way. One person's working, you do
Mhm.
75% of the chores, I do this. It comes down to just basic communication, I think, at this point in life. I don't think anybody should be held to a gender role in any sense. That's just me. But okay, our friend Azia, who has gotten really into this from the other ones. She's sent me a lot of messages and sent this one in. Wants us to talk about this sleeping together too soon versus waiting months to be intimate, and how does that play into the relationship? So I guess what she's asking here is, where are we at with that? That's a big deal. When I know this is kind of a personal thing, nobody has to answer this if they don't want to, because this gets a little personal. I know Mike D's pretty open with stuff, so I'll start with you.
thanks, Mike. I, okay, so I've been married and divorced twice. They were completely different in terms of courtship. Like, one, we jumped into bed together right away, still crashed and burned. The other one, we waited, crashed and burned. I don't think it matters. I think you're ready when you're ready. And as long as you're not pressuring anyone into doing something they're not ready for, that's fine.
Dana, you can
I
pass
think
if you'd like. You don't have to answer.
No, I think it's about connection again. And yeah, like it's not, I'm not saying in my past that I have done it sooner than I should have, or, but I would say, I think that a woman's body is sacred and I'm not going to give it to any man right away. So, again, I'm not saying that I've never done it in the past, but I'm not going to, because I think that a real relationship will work out if a man's willing to wait.
Okay. Gina.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Dana. And another thing too, like if, I mean, I I'm just too, I got to warm up to somebody. It's just, I don't know how people casually do it right away. I'm not judging if people do, good for you. But I also think too, waiting shows that you value yourself. And I think the other person would respect that. And two, I think you'll kind of know somebody's intentions right away too. Like if someone gets salty, like, oh yeah, or if you just see them kind of pulling back because you're not giving it up right away, then fuck off. If you want to get to know me as a person, get to know me first, and then maybe it'll get to that point. And again, you'll learn someone's intentions. So um I yeah, I think, I mean, I don't think that there's a right way and a wrong way too. If you're feeling a connection with somebody, and I don't judge. If it works right away. But me personally, I would have to develop an emotional connection with somebody before I'm gonna have like a sexual connection, whatever you
Okay.
want to call it.
Renee. Renee, what do
I
you
think,
say?
yeah, I think I agree with you, Gina. I think at the end of the day, it's really about the people involved and what is it that they want out of the connection. Do they just want, are they both out, or wherever they are meeting just for a physical connection? Are they open and honest that they're really just looking for sex? Or are they trying to be in a relationship, date someone, have emotional connection? And, as far as myself, nothing would be going on unless there's an emotional connection, because if it's not tied to emotional connection, as far as I'm concerned, there's just no point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If we're not jiving, we don't have mutual respect for each other, a good relationship, can't be open and honest with each other, I can't trust you to, keep me safe and healthy as well, then you're not going to be touching me either. So I think it's all about connection. Right.
Ben
If
or
if I
Mike? Go
could
ahead.
just
Go ahead, Mike.
one thing for any men listening, if you are only interested in sex, be honest about it. Don't lie
Exactly.
and
Mm-hmm.
let them choose. Like you'd be amazed at how well that works sometimes.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ben?
I like what everybody said. I really liked what Dana said. Um, I'm pretty old school. I've never had a one night stand from anyone I've met in a bar. I have to have some sort of connection to you. I have to know something about you. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect. There's people I've been friends with for 15 plus years, and you try and whatever and things like that. It maybe happened. But yeah, I have to know you on a deeper level than that. I mean, if I don't know your name or something about your family or something about your life, anything like that, and have an emotional connection of some kind, I'm not interested in you in a physical matter. And the same goes when I'm in a relationship. If we are not good, I don't even want to be physical with you in that moment. Um, I want to make sure we are good, not just toxic, hooking up and still fighting. And I want to make sure we're good before we get back into a intimate relationship.
Very good. Very good. I kind of echo everything you guys said. I think it just comes down to person. I do believe in anticipation and delayed gratification. And I think that if you're serious about somebody, you'll stick around. And I do believe that's a good way to go. If you're looking for a serious relationship, I do think that that is a good way to be. But I don't think it's right or wrong. It could be first time, fifth time, whatever works for everybody. And like Mike said, it can work or not work in any scenario. So there is no right or wrong. But I didn't want to read that question off because we had a good listener there. So last one here. Now bear with me because I have to read and I suck at reading. So here we go. I think a good topic would be feminine, masculine. Men are constantly talking about how women aren't feminine enough these days, and women are complaining that men aren't masculine enough. With all of this in the mix, I feel like every guy is determined to not do extra for a woman, such as flowers, etc., because the dynamic has shifted so far. Likewise, less women are wanting to have children and cook dinner for a man. I feel like everybody just kind of hates each other. How do we get back to appreciating each other for who we are? Does anybody want to field that one first or have any?
Yeah.
I'll go.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, I hate it. I think that women are falling into more masculine energy and men are kind of taking a step back. I kind of understand both roles. Why? Because I think men aren't held accountable to do those things. And when they do, when we try to, you get accused of trying to manipulate or love bomb somebody just for buying them flowers or be a gentleman or pick somebody up on a date. I've offered to pick someone up on a date. And if even if they're 30 years old, if they live home with a brother or live home with a parent or whatever, I'm gonna knock on the door and be a gentleman. And they found that to be odd. They said to me, "Oh, no one does that. That's so weird. Why would you do that?" Okay, well, you could either meet me out, but if I'm coming to your house, I'm not gonna send you a text message or beep the horn, because if I was the father, I'd come out and say, "You looking for me?" um, but yeah, I I've dated people that were so hyper independent, and I think that a lot of women are, which is a wonderful thing. But I mean, even things like something's on the top shelf that I could reach, she'd rather climb on the counter and balance over the fridge to reach something instead of just asking for help. When we are biologically different, let me help you. There's things that you can do better than I can. There's things that I could do possibly to help you out, make your life easier. That's why we're supposed to be a team. That's why we're yin and yang. So
Yeah.
even the gender roles thing with the chores, I mean, certain things like everything else should be 50-50. But if I have a wife someday, she's not taking out the trash. I'll be kind of disappointed if she does that. I'll say, I'm taking out the trash. I'm going to mow the lawn. I'll do the snow. Certain things like that, that I just feel that's my job as a man. Even if I worked 15 hours, I got to get out there. That's what I signed up for.
Mm-hmm. That's good. What do you say, Dana?
When a man does something, or a woman vice versa when a man does something to a woman or says something to a woman to make them feel emotionally like unsafe, and or a comment about anything, something, if they ask for help and they made a comment about it, or they're something that makes them feel unsafe, the woman is going to go into her masculine. Same thing with a man. If a man shares their feelings or something, like Benny said, like to go to the front door, like if a woman explained that and said like, hey, maybe for the first, I really appreciate you coming to the restaurant or something, let's do that, like get to know you. Like that's a good example. But I feel like that does happen when a man um does something to make a woman feel unsafe. That's when the masculine comes out.
Okay.
So,
Very
but you have
good.
to speak up about it. You have to communicate like, hey, you made me you made me feel this way. And if he's going to say apologize or just react to it, that's a different story. But it happens a lot. And I think communication is the key. And again, if someone's not allowing you to be a feminine as a masculine, as a man, and not allowing you to be in your masculine as a woman, you gotta not allowing you to be in your feminine as a woman, then that man is not for you. That person's not for you.
Okay. Good. Gina.
Yeah, I mean, I think if, a woman's in her masculine, it's because she has that guard up, like I was talking about earlier. In order for a woman to be in her feminine, and this is something I struggle with, is fully feeling safe to let that guard down. So, I mean, I think a lot of people who are not in their feminine, women that are not in their feminine, men that are not in their masculine, some people are hurt, So, I just think it comes to that. You have to trust the person, and if not, you'll find out. But I think it's a hard thing in society. I do think that, I know some women that talk negatively about men all the time and vice versa. I think a lot of people are just hurt, and they need to heal from that. And sometimes that's a hard thing to do. And I think too is sometimes people jump from relationship to relationship trying to like fill whatever, and you're not healed, and then you hurt the same. It's just like a never ending kind of cycle. But I think the more people talk about things early on and they're honest and real, where I think the biggest thing that a lot of people struggle with is vulnerability. And I think that men and women appreciate it when someone shows it, but it's just getting to that point where you're like, okay, can I be vulnerable? It's giving somebody a chance to hurt you in a way. And I think everyone's trying to protect themselves. So,
Very well said. Renee, what do you think?
I agree with what Gina said. Emotional safety, I think is most important. And I think it's about women being able to really put their guard down, ultimately at the end of the day. So, I mean, I don't
Mhm.
really, I forgot what the question was. I'm sorry.
Well, it wasn't really a question. It was a response of why everybody seems to be afraid to be in their gender
Oh,
role.
okay. Oh,
Or
I
like,
was like thinking of my response, and then I had a
yeah.
kid come down, so I had to mute it and be like, "Get out of here right
Well,
now."
that's what
Okay. Oh,
happens. It's
anyways,
all
okay.
good.
Because
Relax.
this is my dining studio. Okay. So yeah, I think that women are in their feminine a lot because they're not emotionally safe. And a lot of times I feel like women have to repeat themselves consistently. So they're super in their feminine, and we communicate exactly what we want, exactly what we need. We drop hints consistently. And then when those things, what? Like, I see you shaking your head. We do. We want communication. We want love. We want transparency. I'm not talking about doing the dishes or taking the trash out. Like, I don't give a shit about any of that. But all the things that we do want and we need as men, like as women and men acting like they're in their masculine. I don't think masculine necessarily has to be mowing a lawn, fixing a door, and taking the trash out. I think that men can nurture and care for a woman and be that can be masculine behavior because I think it takes a very masculine man to show up that way. But there's a lot of men that believe that's vulnerability and that's weakness. And so a lot of times when women communicate and show what their needs are and then they're not met, sometimes the script gets flipped a little bit and women start to push back because it's like, I've communicated that this makes me upset, or I've communicated that this hurts my feelings, and it's just consistently happening and over and over and over, and you become a broken record, and at some point the woman's energy is just going to escalate and explode, and then when that comes, then it's, oh my gosh, she's in her masculine energy, she's so aggressive and she's mad, and I can't stand her, and I miss her when she was nice and feminine and pretty and she always wanted to be on top of me and cuddle with me. Well, you know what, then show up as the guy that you were showing up in the beginning too. Sorry,
Damn.
just
All
keeping it
What's
right.
real.
important is to not forget to continue to date the person that you're with.
Exactly.
Do
Yeah,
the
like
things
don't
that
drop
won
the
men
ball.
in the first place.
Yes,
You
yes.
can't forget that. So for both
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Mike.
agree. Both
Yeah.
sides. It goes both ways, you know?
Yeah, like it all depends. Like if you're going to keep doing something that's going to piss me off when I've told you over and over,
Hmm.
now you are going to deal with me being a little,
Yeah. It's annoying,
I'm
you
not going to
know?
be fun to deal with.
You could say
The
the word.
ladies, if your man is ever, as long as he's not a crybaby, I guess, but I mean, if he is vulnerable and sensitive and emotional,
Oh, I love that.
don't use that against him too, because
No.
we've all been there as well. That we want to be like that. It's our safe space. If we're home, these are my four walls, and that's my
Yeah.
significant other. I
Yeah.
want to know I
Oh
could come
yeah.
home to you and talk about
It's
whatever and tell you how I'm feeling, and don't throw
that's
that in my face though.
that's
Oh
big.
God,
That's
no, I would
big. That's
love that.
big. You said that,
Just
Ben,
saying. I'm
I'll
not
never
because
do
saying
that
you three
again.
women at all. I'm speaking just in general.
yeah, because
I'll
I've
never
been in
ever open up
something.
again.
I mean,
I
if there's any three women that probably know have maybe shown some of this energy, it might be the three of us on our screen right now because we're very strong, independent women. But um I think, like you said, Ben, it goes both ways. Show up how you did. Stop date. I mean, make sure you keep on dating your partner. Make sure you're both showing up for each other and not doing hurtful things and making sure the other person doesn't have to keep on repeating themselves. Like, I don't like that. Like, or will you help out? Or will you do, you know what I mean? Or whatever else. And I mean, it could just be simple phone calls or, watching TV at the end of the day. I don't know, but
I
the,
think, let me say something. I
yeah.
believe the success around this is this. I think that women need to allow men to be vulnerable without,
Mhm.
like you said, accusing them of being weak or
Mhm.
crybabies within reason, of course. And
Yeah.
I think men need to learn to not be emasculated by women being able to do things like, I don't know, housework, things around the house, like painting something or drilling some shit or doing some shit. Man stuff, not be emasculated by it and not diminish the woman because she learned how to be self-sufficient, just like the man learned how to open up. I think that you each got to learn that, hey, that's okay. And it's not an attack on me, it's a growth on you. And I said a kind of a growth on you, but hey, it's a
Huh,
growth of you.
totally agree.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's not a growth on you. But I think that's the way you got to look at it because I think that's where the problem comes in with communication is usually through ego. And I think both of those sort of things can kind of flare up the ego. Like, why is this guy supposed to be a protector? Why is he getting emotional and crying with me, and then you diminish him, and he won't talk. And then if you're a man and your woman's, putting a new ceiling fan in or something like that on her own, and you go and
Jeez.
walk by and you walk by and then you walk by and you say, oh, you can't do that, or you diminish her because she's doing it. That's your ego being bruised, and you can't have that. So I think you have to just have that good balance of allowing people to do what they feel like they can do best and letting them roll with it and not let it bother you. I don't know. Mike D,
Make her feel safe, like make her feel safe and be like,
safety is
baby, like,
everything.
I got like, trust me, I got this. Let me help you. Let me do this. Cause you have to also, if you're dating an independent woman who's been on her own and have been handling her whole life
Mhm.
and you come along, well, then you have to make me feel safe to say like, hey, let me help you. I want to help you. And I have to trust that you do. And help me. Like I'm in it for the partnership, but like you have to make the woman feel safe by talking and communicating that. And if you don't communicate, that's where, things will happen if you don't communicate the right way.
Correct.
I
Mike
agree
D.
with you, Dana, but unfortunately, sometimes people, well, women, that they want to be so hyper independent that they start off the relationship with, I was fine before you and I'll continue to be fine. I don't need you. I don't need your help. So sometimes that's what you're met with. And it's like, I'm just
I
here to
want
help
to
you.
need someone though. I mean, I know everybody says like, I don't need you, I want you, or like, I don't need a man. Like, no, I want to need a man. Like at the end of the day, like I want to be able to need my person at the end of the day. And I think it takes a strong person, a strong woman to even say that. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day,
I
it
think it
also
does
takes a
too.
strong man to say that too. I think we both can feed each other, and it's
Yeah.
okay to say I need my person at the end of the day, and be
For sure.
upset if that person can't show up the way they need to. And I think then maybe the relationship's misbalanced and it's not necessarily going to work out, but that's just a whole different conversation, because then you start to get that balance is just not it's just not on the same scale, and then never, and sometimes you just can't recover from that space,
Agreed.
and
If you
Mike,
get
do
a
you?
woman, yeah. If you get a woman who's not accepting that, then again, like maybe that's not the right.
No.
No, it's not
Well,
the
Just
At the end
fight
of
her,
the
Ben.
day, women
Fight
need
her.
men, men need
I
women,
mean,
Yeah.
and
agreed.
it's just what it is.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, we all
Or
need
you
each
or you
other.
can ask her like, why do you feel that way? Like, because there's a deeper issue. Like, if you don't allow me to do something, what is it? What is it that's wrong? And
Well,
talk
yeah.
about
Well, the thing is all of us in this room here, we all know each other and we are relatively emotionally aware people, I think intelligent emotionally as well, and we kind of know things. But, and I'm not trying to put any of us on a pedestal by any means, but I mean, there are people out there who just don't see it. They just don't get it. And
Yeah.
I mean, we might have all been there at some point in our lives as well, myself included. So we don't know. Mike D,
there.
you,
Oh,
go ahead. I want to
I
hear from Mike.
really quick. Everyone should learn how to be a backpack, a big spoon, and a little spoon. Like it is amazing. Like just be all of it, and you'll be happy.
I
That
like
was so cute.
It's true.
it.
It's fucking true. Like
everyone
I
should
love
be
my
a
backpack.
backpack.
Like
A backpack, a
yeah.
little
Like when a
spoon,
girl like
and a
wraps
big
around you,
spoon.
it's like wearing a backpack.
Oh,
It's
Aw.
fantastic.
Oh,
I love it.
Mike.
I want a backpack.
I'm gonna hug him later. We don't.
Be someone's backpack,
Mike,
Mike, Mike, give him another hug for me.
I love
you
spooning.
give him
I
a
love
hug.
spooning the guy too.
right?
So yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It
spooning is
it goes
great.
both ways. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's no
both
Yeah,
spoon
ways.
size rule.
everyone
No
gets
spoon
something
size.
out of being everything else.
I
Mhm.
like
We
it.
we can all be
Girls
both.
like forehead kisses, by the way.
Just don't want to turn into. Just
Mhm.
don't want to turn into a
We'd only
knife,
do it
right,
if you
Gina?
We do.
mean
I think, we are, again, like if we're alike people, so if you have a like-minded people, but there are people out there, and this is like what I talk about a lot in what I'm doing, is that there are people out there that have no empathy. They're literally, they don't have empathy.
Horrible.
So it's whether they're raised that way. So I would say like you really have to understand a person's childhood, like how they grew up, just like really get into like their values and understand people, because there are people that walk around and with masks on and you do not like, they just don't have empathy.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they don't know
totally
it.
right, Dana.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's not an excuse, but they don't know it. Then
Yeah.
they can't. So
That's
that's
all they've
why.
ever
They
known is
don't
being
know it.
cold.
Heal.
That's all they've ever known. That's how they were
And
raised, is cold.
They're just
And
selfish, evil people.
There
Yeah, but
are
you can always kind of tell though. You have to pay attention in the beginning, right? Is what's the conversation like? Is it shallow? Are they saying shallow things all the time? Or
That's
do
not
What if
fair.
they're
they
like
let
a
that mask
master
slip a lot? Or
manipulator?
are they
That's not fair.
always on it? What do you mean?
I don't talk on
I gotta
first
run in a
dates. I
I
just
second,
mean,
ask
so
of course you
like
could
questions.
that.
like talk like sexual, but I'm
I
saying it's
just
very
ask
surface
questions.
level.
Like, well, yeah,
Like, do you
maybe, but
care about the
like,
person? Are you asking
yeah,
about the person's life, right? Are you
yeah,
trying to
totally.
involve yourself with the person's life, or is just everything very surface level, you know?
Yeah,
You can
that's
kind of
fair.
tell when someone's not really interested in you. So don't be surprised if down the road the mask falls off and oh my gosh, like, I mean, come on. You
You
saw
can
Yeah,
a
get
clip.
really good
sometimes
at
they're
If the
spotting the
really
person
mask,
they're
has
though.
really
no
good though.
empathy for anyone else, treats
And
people,
some people
other
don't practice
individuals
what they preach. They
crappy.
talk the talk, and then when it comes time to walk the walk, they're like, "Wait, you know,
Right.
Accountability? What's
Exactly.
that?
you
Oh
know,
my gosh.
accountability. Holy shit. So I think there's a,
Accountability.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like, there's some people that wouldn't know accountability if it walked up to them, smacked them in the face, and took a dump down their
Yeah.
throat.
There's words
But
and
at the same
actions.
time, I'm sorry they
jeez,
don't. I've seen it, and I'm sorry
Leave
to
my
get graphic with
ex-wife
this.
out of this, Mike.
Hey, I'm not talking about
oh,
anybody. I'm not talking about
Oh
anybody in particular.
gosh.
But it's true, and it's like kryptonite to those people. That wasn't me. It was clearly you. We see it right here, and they'll still have a fucking, they'll still have an excuse. Oh, you did it. You because
you
you're a
made
dick.
me do that."
You made me
Yeah.
do it
Yeah,
with your
it's the world's
behavior.
fault.
They're
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
But you
those
did
you
this
have
or
to
you
just
did that.
no,
Yeah.
you have to you
Mhm.
cannot reach a person like that. They need to figure it out themselves. So I think what we've kind of established here is, and now we should probably close it up with something nice. And what we had, Crystal Novello was on this for the first episode. She couldn't be here. We have replacement, but she's contributed some content to the show. I wanted to give her a shout out and thank her. But she did mention that we should actually all give one quick, like, what do we like, non-sexual, what do we like about the opposite sex? What's our favorite thing about the opposite sex is non-sexual? If you don't know one off the top of your head, that's fine. But let's close on something. If you don't know one, let's close on a positive note, because we can establish here that things that are a problem right now is too much connectivity, too many egos, too many traumas that are unhealed, poor communication, and just people not wanting to be accountable for themselves. I think that's kind of encapsulates probably 95% of relationship issues right there. But to say something nice. Now, I had a struggle with this one because there's a lot of nice things you could say about women, but I have to say this. And I thought this now. I had a tattoo on my leg, okay? And it's a woman's face. So I have leg hair that grows on my leg. Now, I don't regularly shave my legs. Sometimes I might. But and it is kind of freeing, guys, if
So
you
she
never
has a
thought.
beard now.
Well, now I shave my leg relatively often, and it's kind of annoying me, and it's only part of my leg. And I also, like, on Halloween, I'll put makeup on, I'm like, for a costume. Now, this is a fucking lot of work for these women, for your societal expectations. I know you don't have to do it, but you do it because that's just what it is. I give you all the credit in the world. I don't know how you do it, keeping all yourself shaved up and makeup and all of this all the time, like to go to work, to go out. You guys take care of yourselves, and us men don't do that shit. And you have that time of the month thing that happens, what I don't understand to this day, what goes on. I just know to watch where I step, and that's it. So I have to give women, from what I know, from what I've heard, yeah, there's a lot of things that us men don't know that you go through and have to deal with, whether it's societal expectations, bodily things that I can't go any further talking about. But hey, it's tough. Plus, there are some pieces of shit men out there, and you guys, have to worry about that stuff. So women are brave, and I want to give you guys that credit. I think women are very brave. I really do. So, and then you deal with a lot of stuff. So that's my piece. If anyone else wants to go, roll.
I'll go.
Okay.
Um, I like how men always have a solution. Sometimes I go to a guy friend over one of my girlfriends just because I know like I'm immediately gonna get a solution. And sometimes I don't want one. Sometimes I just want you to listen to me, bitch. But men, I love like because again, women we think so emotionally. But some, like, I love how you guys can just come up with a solution without like emotion to it. And I also love a hug from a man. It's just, like turns everything off. So I love hugs, and I love how men can just think logically and give you a solution right away.
That's good. So yeah, you have to know when to ask for that, because
Yes.
there are times where men can get, try to fix something that's an emotional issue and it doesn't work. But like you said, if you're looking for a solution on something that needs an answer,
You guys will have
the
one.
dude might have it.
An answer.
So
Yeah.
Dana, you want to go next, or you have one, or Mike, or whoever? There's
Still
no.
thinking of a good
All right,
one.
you still think,
I
Mike?
just think,
Go ahead, Dana.
Mike.
No, go
Mike, you go.
I really appreciate women's ability to know what I'm feeling before I figure it out. Like I
We're witches.
I don't understand feelings at all, and like you guys apparently deal with a whole lot of them.
Our
I don't get it, but
intuitions.
thank you. And women always smell nice, like always. I don't get it. I appreciate it.
Perfume and showering.
it's just basic hygiene,
No.
Mike.
Yeah, we shower. Like I shower like 4 times a day. I will never smell as nice as a woman that like showered yesterday and had like the spritz thing in the car.
Well, you have to have
We
you
got
have to-
body oil,
We
lotion.
need some glitter spritz, I think is what I'm getting down to.
Okay.
Old Spice.
Yeah, I like
Mike,
what you
Old
said about
Spice.
the.
Ooh.
I like what Gina said. I mean, I know she was talking about a man, but in general, even as a man, it's crazy what physical touch could do for a man. You could have the worst day of your life, and you come home to the person that you love or care for, and they just a hug, just putting your arm around me, anything, holding my hand, your hand on my thigh, or whatever. When I'm driving, anything is just wow. Like everything disappears. So
Yeah,
I
like
think
the
it's a
back of the head
special.
scratch.
Yeah, while you're driving or whatever. I think
I
that's
love
a
that one.
very women are nurturing. There's a reason that children, everything. So that's a superpower that women have, that our whole world disappears and everything goes quiet. So
Okay.
so
Renee, you have anything you want to say? And then we'll go to Dana.
I think there's something really beautiful, I said beautiful, about men who can really lead with presence, I guess, instead of controlling. I guess men who listen, they protect, they provide peace, I guess, instead of confusion. I think it takes a strong man to make things feel less heavy for a woman, and show up consistently in life. And I think a lot of men right now are starving for appreciation, probably respect too, and softness from women, and probably their own reassurance, so they also feel emotionally safe. So I think just a truly strong man probably is one that that I would have the most respect for, and I think that we as women can also have respect for. That's just them being protective and emotionally open as well.
Very good. Dana?
I think a strong man who shows confidence and realness with their women, vulnerability, faith. I just think, I think it's important for sensuality when you're sensual as a man. I think that's a great quality to have. You don't have to always have your guard up and be manly, because that also ties into control, and women don't need to be controlled. We need to be loved and appreciated, and vice versa. It's the same thing. So I think it's important to, and men have to groom themselves too, Mike. So we're not, it's a two-way street
hey,
here.
Oh, look at Benny's lineup. He grooms himself.
I mean,
His lineups
perfect.
are
That
always
takes
great.
time.
That
That
is
takes
nice.
you guys,
It's a nice fade.
all
It's
have
a
to
nice
groom
fade.
up
Very nice fade.
everywhere. So we all, and I appreciate a man who does,
Takes care of himself.
takes care of himself. Yeah. And
There you
that's
go.
it's not metrosexual. I think it's important for a man to look good, just as a woman is to look good. And you can't lose that in a relationship. You have to be confident and beautiful in your own body, and for the man and woman that you're with.
Very good. Very well said. Well, we talked about a lot of things today, and I think, as most things are, they sound very simple, but they are actually incredibly complicated, because I don't believe people are black and white. There's so many gray areas involved in humanity. I think individuals are just different based on their experience, their perceptions, how they've processed things, where they've been, where they've come from, who they've learned from, different cultures, different upbringings. And it all just stems into this big, convoluted bullshit storm of communication trash. And I think that's what happens to everybody. And it's just a wild card out there. I guess we just have to try to have more fun with it all and learn about ourselves first and foremost, because I think that's the first step. I don't think it's a relationship thing. I think people need to figure themselves out, because if you're going to lie to yourself, you're going to lie to your partner. If you're going to hate yourself, you're going to hate your partner. And it goes that deep, and it really does. And it never is going to change. If you have to recognize when you are the pattern and you are the problem, and sometimes you might not be. And that's true, because there are victims
Never.
out there. But be sure, if you're going to be a victim, be sure you are a victim. And it is true that you can also be a victim and not administer victim mentality. So check yourself. And if you want to what was that?
Check yourself before you wreck
Wreck
yourself.
yourself, motherfucker. That's right. Hmm. Getting some old school rap lyrics thrown out in there, and can always appreciate that, Gina. Thank you. But
Thanks.
hey, if you wanted to get in touch with me or any of these folks on here, I'm not going to read off everybody's little handles here, but I'm at MFS Wellness on Instagram. Mike at mfswellness.com would be my email address. If you ever want to be on the show or join us or ask us anything, we might be doing some more stuff together. We've formed a nice group here, and we like to do these kinds of things. Before we sign it off here, does anybody have anything they'd like to say?
No. Hugs are healing.
Work on yourself before you get in a relationship and
Get yourselves.
There you
Thanks
go.
for having me, Mike. I know it wasn't
Hey.
easy to
Love you,
organize six
Mike.
people to get together. So
We got
thanks for
everybody.
coordinating this and hosting as always.
Of course, guys. Hey, thanks y'all for being here. I want to thank everyone who listens, all of you. And we'll come up with some other ideas and throw it out there. Maybe we'll take a little bit of a little hiatus and reconvene and think of something to do. But you know what? I appreciate you all. And thanks for doing this. And until we come back with another episode, we'll talk to you then. Thank you.